At this moment in history, I'd say that many or most in the neuroscience community subscribe to materialism and reductionism. And when my colleagues and I design experiments, we sort of have to make this assumption. And what it means is that we should be understandable as a collection of cells and blood vessels and hormones and proteins and fluids, all following the basic laws of chemistry and physics as we currently understand them. Each day, neuroscientists go into the laboratory and work under the assumption that understanding enough of the pieces and parts will give an understanding of the whole. This break it down to the smallest bits approach is the same successful method that has been employed in physics and chemistry and the reverse engineering of electronic devices, but we don't have any real guarantee that this approach will work in neuroscience. The brain, with its private subjective experience, is unlike any of the problems that we've tackled so far. And anybody who tells you that we have the problem cornered with a reductionist approach doesn't actually understand the complexity of the problem. Keep in mind that every single generation before us has worked under the assumption that they possessed all the major tools for understanding the universe, and they were all wrong without exception. Just imagine trying to construct a theory about rainbows before the understanding of optics. Or imagine trying to understand lightning before the knowledge of electricity. Or imagine trying to understand Parkinson's disease before the discovery of neurotransmitters. Does it seem reasonable that we are the first ones lucky enough to be born in the perfect generation, the one in which the assumption of a comprehensive science is finally true? Or does it seem more likely that in 100 years from now, people will look back on us and wonder what it was like to be ignorant of what they now know? Just to be very clear on this point, I am not claiming that materialism is incorrect, or even suggesting that I hope it's incorrect. After all, even a materialist universe would be mind-blowingly amazing. Imagine for a moment that we are nothing but the product of billions of years of molecules coming together and ratcheting up through natural selection. That we are composed only of highways of fluids and chemicals sliding along roadways within billions of dynamic cells. Imagine that trillions of synaptic conversations are flashing in parallel, and that this vast fabric of micron-thin circuitry runs algorithms that are totally undreamt of in modern science, and that these neural programs give rise to our decision-making and loves and desires and fears and aspirations. To me, that understanding would be a numinous experience, better than anything ever proposed in anyone's holy text.